Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Lou DiBella. And we're starting with a festive touch.
Little Charlie Brown Christmas tree here, and I'm sitting in my office, but I have my multiple Charlie Brown Christmas trees. There's a second one. Okay, trying to be a little bit, trying to be a little bit festive. I had a little eggnog spiked with rum sitting in front of me, but I just threw the glass away. It was in a disposable cup.
So a lovely
So
festive introduction to DiBella's Digest this week. And
yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody, and Happy Holidays in general. Happy Hanukkah for those who just ended with. Happy New Year. Let's hope 2021 is better than this piece of shit was.
surely it can't be any worse. I mean, I hate to
This is
tempt
true.
fate, but um,
So now you guys are getting banned from traveling, and what?
well, yeah, no one's letting us in. Probably
That's
rightly
crazy.
so. I mean, we deserve it.
Well, look who you're talking to. It's not like we've been a world leader and had to deal with a pandemic. But what else is new, Danny?
Well, we're going to do our review of 2020. A lot of negatives, obviously, with the pandemic disrupting boxing as it has pretty much everything else in life. But I'm
Yeah, but
hoping
you know what? Let's do a positive few minutes to
that's the
close the year.
idea
I
because
mean,
we've
we
discussed
had
most of the
we had
negatives.
some great fight. We had some great fights. We had some good stories. Um, Look, Baranchek, and I just saw something. Ring Magazine gave Baranchek and Sean Zepeda the fight of the year. I mean, that was like anyone who saw that fight's never going to forget it. The Teofimo really became a star this year. I mean, Fury did have a good year. The heavyweight division's still relevant. People are really interested in the Joshua Fury fight, but the big boys still command attention. So, like, it wasn't a total wash. We got back. We came back as an industry. A lot of fighters are hungry right now. So are a lot of other people, managers, promoters, arena owners. Go through the list of all the people that have been hurt in the live event business, and the fighters have to understand a lot of them. And I've been lucky enough to be able to get activity for a lot of my fighters. Some other smaller promoters without platforms, or big promoters without platforms, haven't been able to do that. But that being said, like, everybody's suffering right now. There are promoters I know are working really hard to get their fights, and there simply aren't opportunities. It's just the nature of a pandemic. But we did have reasons for optimism for 2021. There are some big fights that we know we should be making. Let's see. Let's start 2021 with a thought that maybe Crawford and Spence does get done this year. Maybe Joshua and Fury does happen in June. Let's see. I think we need not just one of those situations. We need a 2021 that's characterized by some regularity of stuff that can resonate beyond those of us that are hardcore boxing people.
Now, we'll talk about fight and fighter of the year in a few moments. I think you've given us a few clues as to who you may pick already. But first,
Lopez is my fighter of the year.
oh, spoiler alert, we were
Yeah,
saving that. But
Lopez is my
we
fighter of
will
the year.
talk about that in a minute and what your rationale is for him being the number one. But just pick out a couple of fighters for us who you feel have made great steps forward in 2020 that maybe have meant more to you personally.
I think that when I look at my own, the fighters I work with, Charles Conwell is going to become a known name and a big rising star in 2021. He ended the year, really dismantling two undefeated prospects and guys that were also viewed as contenders. Wendy Toussaint, who Joe DeGuardia star boxing, undefeated kid, until Conwell got a hold of him. And then he just took apart a guy that was incredibly highly regarded with main events, undefeated kid from Russia, and he just was a tremendous performance. I think that Charles will continue to grow in the new year, and I think we're going to continue to get opportunities to put him in major difficult situations.
Now, talking about fighter of the year, you've said it for you, it's Teofimo Lopez. Now, the consensus appears to be that it would be either Lopez or Tyson Fury. who of course opened the year very strongly in the rematch with Deontay Wilder. Just tell us from your point of view, what gives Lopez the edge, or his win over Lomachenko the edge over Fury's against Wilder?
I sort of think after Mr. Ruiz smashed AJ and Fury smashed Wilder, that we know who the king of the heavyweights is. Okay, I want to see the fight too, but I know who I think is going to win. And right now, at this moment in time, Tyson Fury's the king of the heavyweights. Teofimo Lopez went from being an exciting young kid to beating a guy that many regarded as the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And with all due respect and apologies to Lomachenko for his excuses and for actually trying to make us think that he believes that that was a fight he won, Teofimo Lopez beat him, just beat him. And a lot of the fight outboxed him and looked like the boss, not only in terms of strength, but ring generalship. So that on the strength of that win alone, and look, he caught Comey with a perfect punch in the beginning of the fight. Who thought Richard Comey is still a top lightweight. Richard Comey's going to prove he's a top lightweight in February when he fights Jackson Marinez. But again, it has a chance for redemption. But I mean, Teofimo Lopez beat Lomachenko and Comey, and in an incredibly impressive fashion. I mean, the leap he took was just a bigger leap. Fury is the Gypsy King, and he's the king of the heavyweights, still proven otherwise, in my view. So, I mean, I think Tyson's fine. As I can accept they're both fight of the year, but if you made me pick one, it's gonna be Teofimo.
And is Baranchyk against Zepeda your fight of the year? Is that the best fight you've seen in 2020?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I saw some other decent fights, even fights I can argue could have been put in a similar category. But here's the difference: when you see a fight that's that good and it's that savage, I mean, there is that many knockdowns, and that fight was back and forth where you thought Baranchyk was going to win. They were going to stop the fight. You thought the other guy was going to win. They were going to stop the fight. Then you thought Baranchyk was going to win. And how's the other kid going to get up? And then the other kid puts him down, and and then, by the way, at the end, Barancyk's still trying to get up. And, Zepeda those two guys were just warriors. And that was an unforgettable fight. I don't know about you, but I don't go back and watch great fights that were chess games and boxing matches a lot. When I go back and pull out a fight, tape or DVD or go online to watch a fight, it's usually a fight where two guys went to war. And those guys went to brutal and violent but beautiful war.
And just before we let you go, Teofimo was undoubtedly the breakout superstar of 2020. Give us 2 or 3 names who you think have the potential to do similar in 2021. That's a very good question. Thanks.
Have the potential to break out as stars. I think if they match him appropriately, it could be a big year for Virgil Ortiz. I think he's already a champion, but I think in terms of becoming a star, I think the winner of Luke Campbell and Ryan Garcia is going to have a very big 2021. Yeah. And if Ryan Garcia beats Luke Campbell, and that's, believe me, I haven't decided yet how I'm picking in that fight, but if Ryan Garcia beats Luke Campbell, he's the hottest commodity of any up-and-coming fighter, including Virgil. And I don't care what Oscar says about it. I know I'm right. So I think that I could see Ryan Garcia, Virgil Ortiz. Again, it's going to be a matter of competition. But Boots Ennis, I think if you threw the top of the division at Boots Ennis right now, he would beat a lot of them. I think it could be a very big year for him. The fighters I work with, I think it could be a big year for Stefan Shaw, Charles Conwell. I think it could be a big year for a number of the other young heavyweights I have, because I think when there's more activity, the big guys are going to get back into the ring. But I don't know. I got to think more. Next time we speak, I'll come at you with another. We'll speak before the new year, and I'll come at you with a couple of where I would think the breakout stars. I haven't really thought about it.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping you can find some time during your festive revelry to link up next week, and we'll do a little preview as well of Campbell against Garcia, because that kicks off the new year.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to do it as a happy hour next week.
I think that's a good idea. I think we should both have a drink in our hand when we do next week's.
Absolutely. All right, my friend.
It's a date.
Okay.
A bro
You got
date.
it. Merry Christmas, Danny, and also one last thing. I don't know if you're going to put this up before I guess not. It's probably not the next week, but
I don't know.
This is a
you said Merry Christmas about 5 times.
I love this kind of year, and I hope everybody can enjoy like the next week or two and be with family and as much as you can safely, and but have some fun and just enjoy life. There's a lot of people having a hard time right now. If you're having a hard time right now, there is help out there. Seek it. You know, if you need to go into my DMs and you need to talk to somebody, that could be arranged. But you know, it's a rough time of year for some people, and we should all try to make it better for them.
That's a very poignant note on which to end. And Merry Christmas to you too, Lou, and we'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
Take care.